You're listening to the best gospel station in Thomasville, North Carolina, 103.1 FM, WEOM. Welcome back, guys. It's Kaye Dee with Kaye Dee and Motormouth and special guest Black Leaf today. Black Leaf is with us today. We appreciate you.
Yeah, it's no problem.
Yeah, but we're sitting here discussing Mitt Romney and the GOP and the Democratic Convention, just a little bit of everything. But how about we get on back a little bit on Mitt Romney? He's still an interesting fellow to me. Very interesting. Now, there was also something that occurred at the convention last night that caught my attention. I mean, there was a lot that went on. First of all, Bill Clinton came out and did his thing. Oh, Bill Clinton.
He did a nice job.
Bill still got it, as I put it. I tell you one thing, Bill Clinton ever opens up a PR firm, I would have get up in it. He is so smooth. I like that about him.
He presented his facts and the story, and he got an entertaining way of presenting it.
Yeah, everybody can't do that.
Yeah, but from the way they had it and the way he presented it yesterday, he did an excellent job in presenting the challenges that Obama have faced in his first 4 years. And then the thing that get me the most about it, people don't give Obama credit that when he was running, he told everybody it would take until 2014 before you could see him start. Right. So he said it would take more than one term. He mentioned that, and nobody's giving him credit for that. Everybody's jumping on like now. And I like the way, Clinton presented it, the actual overcome or the obstacles that he had to deal with.
Well, the thing about Bill Clinton's speech that I like to look at is the fact, it kind of reminds me like, you guys, have you ever been in a class just in general, college, school, business class, whatever, where you had somebody that's at the top of their game, they know exactly, they can tell you everything from A to Z about the subject matter at hand. But when it comes to presenting it and trying to share the information to you, so that you can get it, they're not really that great at it. You have a lot of people that are very knowledgeable and very intelligent, but they're not good at relaying the message and breaking it down in layman's terms so that the average person can get it and then take it and do something different with it on their own end, if I'm making any sense. Bill Clinton has that X factor where he can take a large subject matter and break it down with a lot of charisma and charm and present it so that everybody just loving him. He's got that it thing, as I call it.
Yeah, but again, when you break it down,
got it.
Like as he was saying, the obstacles that Obama had to overcome, but those obstacles that he had overcome was the same obstacles same maneuver that the Bush administration already had put in place to hand him the plate.
Yeah, we realize that.
I'm talking about the banks, the automobile industry, because
he did.
Bush started bailing them out before
he even left office.
Right.
As he was walking out the door and pulling the door behind him, he was bailing folks out.
Which is surprising.
Yeah, so again, I go back with you when you're saying, all the two lesser evils. I mean, what are you really picking? Because they playing the game.
They are.
And the way they just playing with the people mind, because I thought there was so much that the Republicans could have covered in their convention that they didn't cover, and then they left the
And I think that was on purpose. It wasn't accidental.
and then even the stuff coming up about Jerusalem and the guy issue thing.
That was crazy.
Yeah, how that was planted in there. So when you look at
first we're gonna put God and mention of Jerusalem and Israel in this speech, and then we're gonna take it out. Then they're gonna take a vote. I mean, it was crazy.
The funny thing is, because you're saying Bush set up the whole thing for Obama to take over. When you think about it, with the Bush-Gore election, seeing as how Clinton was still in office, I think Clinton had everything. This is the craziest thing. I don't know if I'm wrong or right, but Clinton basically probably had everything set up for Al Gore to take over, and then Bush took over, and Clinton really didn't. I guess he didn't really know how to tell Bush to take over, or Bush couldn't really figure out what was going on, so he just kind of did his own thing.
Well, I think what it
a lot, I'm sure Bush didn't know.
This is way out. But I think, like in all business and industry cycles, you have certain things that have to come, and you got to pay your dividends, and you got to pay your dues. And I think that we were so far out of war zone since the Vietnam War that those people that have manufactured war gear need to have the dividend.
Definitely.
And then
they
when you
still
look
are
at the
reaping
Bush
the
family,
dividends.
and then when you look at the Bush family being number one in manufacturing of war gear, okay? They the
Well,
biggest.
the Bush
merchants of
family's
southern.
not the only family that's benefited from the act of war. But
I'm
I get
just
where you're
saying-
going, Motor.
But I'm just saying their family being number one in the world in distributing war gear. Yeah, everybody look at oil, but they got something else going on that their grandfather, great grandfather set up, and so therefore, I mean, kind of maybe kind of funny because they didn't get a chance to do it in Desert Storm. That was
but
kinda
to
quick and
get back
overnight.
to the convention a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, that's something else we probably need to follow up on. 'Cause we got about a million topics from this one show. We can really come back and follow up on in great detail and depth.
But I think
the reason they probably didn't get a chance to is because originally Operation Desert Storm was previously called Operation Desert Shield. It was probably meant to be more of a go in and not really pacify, but I guess actually, yes, pacify, make sure nothing bad happens, and then it turned into a storm. Hence Desert Storm.
Right. Well, you know, I guess I mean, but you got to remember that did it last even 2 weeks? It wasn't long.
Oh yeah,
And
it was long enough.
But they didn't get Saddam. You know who they was going after then.
Yeah.
And then I think
which I still think is
40
crazy, because I tell you one thing, I do not believe that the United States government, if they really wanted your behind, I don't care who you are. I think everything's by design. Maybe I'm weird. I just honestly think that if they really wanted Saddam, even then they could have got him. That's just my opinion.
but
I'm not getting into all that.
But you know, they got so much other things, principles to go with. Because because again, they go back into a faith thing. I mean, you got U.S. soldiers over there dying, and they can't even carry the Bible into the country, what they supposedly believe in. So I mean, there's a whole bunch of other stuff.
There's always a lot of underlying stuff.
I think
with everything.
with that. But I just think that again, I think for them closing it and everything, I think there's more onto the table than what is presented to us. And now with
both parties, the Republican Party and the Democratic Party. Right. Because let's keep it real. Bill Clinton did a wonderful job last night with his speech. Yeah. Okay, to back up even further, Michelle Obama came out. She did a beautiful presentation as far as her speech. Mm-hmm. Okay? But again, I felt like maybe I'm just burnt out on politics. I felt like I was at a big old rah-rah shish kumbah party.
That's exactly what it was.
You know what I'm trying to... I mean, I understand
but that's
that.
Why it's a convention.
But I understand that. But what I'm trying to say is this. Okay. I mean, first of all, maybe I'm weird. It bothers me that I have to have the political candidate's spouse come out and talk for it felt like an hour. What else is she gonna say?
Well,
she's married to the man. I mean,
yeah.
My thing is,
it'd be
come
out.
What's supposed to say? I married this fool. That's the biggest. But no, no. I mean, regardless of what's going on the surface, regardless of what's really going on for real, I don't want to hear that no more. I don't care how pretty you look, how beautiful the presentation is. And I'm not picking on Michelle Obama. I'm talking about both political wives. Both. Why? I don't even want to hear. I'm at the point I don't even want to hear that no more. And if you come out and do that, make it short and sweet. 5 minutes and get off the stage.
Agreed.
I mean, that's just my opinion. Bring some folks out here that's going to bring me something that I am not aware of.
It's there to set the family values.
I understand that.
This might as well be like a high school presidential election.
I
because
feel like I was at a pep rally. Okay?
Because Romney, whenever Obama was giving a speech, I can't remember the exact location it was, but Romney came by and had a group of his friends with him. They were all in some type of SUV. It looked like probably Escalade or something.
What else are they supposed to come out and do?
Well, they came out and they were honking the horn and making as much noise as they can in order to interrupt Obama's speech. That's why I say it's all about a popularity thing. And
it really is.
Feels like a high school president election or a class president, whatever.
I understand what the convention is about. I'm not an idiot. I understand it's about, unity and supporting each other. I get it, but I guess I'm just tired of it. Come out and bring me some substance, a little bit more substance. So far,
somebody that's real.
The only person that's come out and brought a little bit of substance, whether I agree with what he said or not, is Bill Clinton. And I guess because he broke some things down that I wanted to address. Like, nobody's addressed the fact that we are in a recession, okay?
Yes.
Nobody's really addressed that as far as I'm concerned. It's almost like they're Mitt Romney, whether you think religion has something to do with it or not, it does. And to flip it on the other side of the coin, Everybody's having a fit. Even to this day, you got a lot of Republicans, a lot of ultra conservatives having a fit, saying that they still believe Barack Obama is a Muslim. Yada, yada, yada. So don't give me the crap saying that you don't think religion comes into play with a political candidate, because it does. Okay. So to flip it on the other side, why are we not addressing a Mormonism with Mr. Romney? Why are we not addressing the tax return situation with Mr. Romney? Why are we not addressing Barack Obama and what's going to happen with jobs? I don't want to hear no crap about how many jobs we were losing per month when he came into office, even though it's factual. I want to hear what's going on with his plan for what he's going to do to bring jobs in this country. What are they going to do to bring the jobs in the call centers, just as one extreme example, that have actually gone out to other countries where companies were actually getting tax rewards and reaping benefits by outsourcing the jobs that were leaving America. Mm-hmm. That's the kind of stuff that I want to hear.
Really, I think
what's stopping somebody from forming those jobs here at a lower rate?
That's a good question. And again,
that's up to an individual to themselves, because the owners of these companies are individuals.
But you know what?
They don't want to pay the money.
But it's the money.
But the individual with today's technology, there's a lot of things I believe that we ourselves, if we are the type of person that want to own these type of enterprise, that we could find a way about going about it.
But
they don't want to.
But it's about money, Motor.
They don't want to pay the money.
Let's keep it real. If say you wanted to open up a call center, a huge one, okay,
you might have to start with a small one.
Okay, well, a small one.
Okay. Right.
And your government tells you, okay, you can open up your call center right here. You can do your thing, but your tax structure, whatever, is going to be this, da, 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 da. And then they also present, okay, but if you look under the federal government, if you take that same small call center that you want to open up, and you take it and you open up in China, the Philippines, or India, whatever, guess what?
You get a tax break.
And not only that, not only can you get a tax break, you can get a 2-for-1 deal. You can go for what you're going to pay for one salary in the United States. Go over here and get 2 college-educated people that are willing to work for half of what your American person that you're going to hire, because you got to staff this thing. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
And then there's extra tax breaks and extra incentives and extra this and extra that for you to go to another country to open up this thing.
Also,
it's good business sense for you to do what?
But as long as it's like that, it's going to be like that. But
that's not what I'm debating.
The government can't do anything about it because of laissez-faire. Laissez-faire says the government is not supposed to get involved. Yeah,
but
it's not supposed to get involved with business
Can we say NAFTA? Can we break it down? My thing is this. All I want to hear at these conventions are what are they going to do to bring jobs back to this country. I don't care about all the other crap. I don't really care about Michelle's dress, even though it's pretty, whatever. Yeah. I just want a little...
Because it wasn't made in America.
Well, it actually was by a lady named Tracy Reese. She's an American designer, and that's fine and dandy, but that's
where her parents from.
Whatever. I have no idea.
But you got to look at it like this. You need to have some type of incentive in order to make business owners bring the jobs back to America.
Thank you.
Because as long as they can get as bad as it is, sweatshops and everything else, as long as they can get the work done cheaper.
Right. Yeah,
that's why we had a big issue with immigration. It's like they're ready to kick out everybody that's immigrated to America, but at the same time, they're like, well, we want our jobs back. We want to do this. We want to do that. But who's really, to be honest, who's going to go out into a field, pick strawberries for like below minimum wage?
You're right, Blackley, because you got me thinking about even in Atlanta, not Atlanta, in South Georgia, in Valdosta in particular that comes to mind, you had a lot of farmers that make a living, and a nice, comfortable living, selling, Georgia's famous Vidalia onions.
Yeah.
And what happened when they changed, what is the thing, Motormouth, when they changed the name of this thing where E-Verify. When they took E-Verify on a whole different level.
It cost them their field, their
crop. Yeah, because a lot of the immigrants that wanted to pick the Vidalia onions and had been doing it for years and generations were not able to. And as a result, I don't know what that was supposed to really do to bring E-Verify, but what happened was all the crops died. Why? They couldn't get any American folks that's always hollering about somebody taking their job. They didn't want to go down there, like you say, and work in the field at the wages that it would take to get it done.
And the sad part is, I mean, the people. I don't have a problem with other people trying to do jobs like that. I'm not even making fun of them. It's just the people that came over. They mainly did it to take care of their family, because the American dollar over here, I mean, it's only good enough for like bubble gum and soda, just $1. But you take it over to where they're from, they can at least provide a lot for their family. They can, maybe save up one day and get a house for them or someplace nice for them to live.
The lady who in Australia, and then we'll go back to it.
Yeah.
Talking about $2.
The $2 a day thing.
Imagine with her saying that. Just imagine if you took $100,000 and went over there and opened up enterprise yourself.
Oh yeah.
Or how you can do and what you can do in building that empire and making it right.
Yeah.
But back here in the states here with the problem with here in Georgia and everything, I think that was more or less an act, not that much about the immigrants being here or illegal or e-verified, but it was a way to shut down the small farmers.
Well, they shut it down.
Yeah, they did.
And to where corporate
they lost
could
a lot
take
of
over.
money.
You see what I'm saying?
I agree.
And it only take 1 or 2 crop seasons to make that switch
Yeah.
over
You're
to
right.
corporate,
Yeah.
And because now
That's a good point, Motor Mal. That's a
when
good
we
point.
look at the bill that Obama passed, where the immigrants are, the illegals as they used to call them, could come into the country. Now they can be more open if they was born here at a certain time.
Oh, you talking about the recent bill that passed
Right,
where
you
you can go
to-
in and give your information. I think you have
Right.
like 2 years, and
Right.
then after 2 years you have to go and do something
Certain-
different
right.
in state.
Now, I can see where that could help the farmers out. But then again, you got what federal laws say and what state laws say.
Right.
Because that E-Verify, I think with Georgia, I think it was something that passed through the state.
I think it was.
Well,
'Cause
right.
Yeah, it is. But
Yeah.
at the
Right.
same time, I don't
Yeah.
think the farmers would want their employees to be e-verified, because then it would be mandatory for them to pay them minimum wage, and that would make their spending go up. They wouldn't be able to pay them
Yeah.
under the table and pay them, like, I don't know, $2 to $5 per day or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, you're
That's-
right.
and-
You're right, Blake. Because
and
that
the
was
whole
the problem.
thing-
They were saying that was the most. I don't know why, but I guess they have their costs and their wholesale and their markup. But they were saying that was the most that they were able to pay to get the produce picked, like $2 or something.
Right.
Yeah,
like you
and
said.
plus
Still
on top
have-
of that, they would probably have to start giving them health insurance and all sorts of other benefits because of the type of jobs that they do, like the construction jobs. You can't go into a construction job and not at least expect some type of health insurance, because if you fall off of the scaffolding and you don't have anything, they can't hire you. They can't use you.
workers'
Yeah.
comp.
Because they would still could fall underneath seasonal workers.
Yeah, you're right.
Right,
Yeah.
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 But again, I guess what I'm just trying to point out is, like the takeover from the small farmers, their crops and everything, because they even have the issue about seeds.
Yeah, you
You
got me
know-
thinking about Monsanto and all the other
Right.
guys, and you got me thinking about when we did the organic, the show about the food and the meat industry.
Right. It all goes
So I
hand
guess
in
you're
hand.
trying to say that what's
You
going
know.
on with the meat industry is kind of sort of occurring
with the plant.
with the plant.
I
and
mean,
Yeah.
well,
the organic food.
it's
the plants.
definitely going on with the plant
On a different level.
Because now
Yeah.
with the genetic seeds that they
The
modify,
modification. Yeah.
you don't have the seeds now producing the nutrients or the vitamins and the minerals that they used to when they was growing in the wild, if you want to say.
Well,
just like farm raised fish.
I'm just gonna say this
up?
because every time I drive to work, I go right up the street and make a right turn, and then I have to make another right turn on another road where they're doing construction. And I remember, if I'm thinking right, Caterpillar was a American brand name construction company, and
They're China now.
yeah,
Caterpillar is
that's
China now.
yeah.
It's made in China now.
Yeah.
that's what I was about to
Wow.
say, because
That's an old American brand.
you don't
Wow.
even see Caterpillar now, because
Wow.
like for example, I drive down the street. The only Caterpillar I see is one made back from the 90s.
I didn't
Right.
realize
Everything
that.
is Komatsu now, and it's to basically get to the point here. There is no, if they're going to bring jobs back to America, they also need to bring the pride of America back, because
Yeah.
what really the outsourcing jobs and giving them to other people, it doesn't, in order
It's
to
not
work.
solving our problem as a whole.
It's not,
in this country.
But
It's not
problems
solving the
aside, I
problem.
mean, they have robbed us of our pride, because whenever it's like going to school
I know what you're
and
saying.
doing a term paper and you get 100 on it and you're proud of it and you did the research on that paper and you worked hard for it. It makes you feel proud. It makes you feel like you can accomplish anything. It gives you a sense of being.
Yeah, you're trying to say we
Yeah.
need to bring our American
Well,
spirit
Yes,
back.
because really the one question I have to ask, and that's all I'm going to say on the topic now, is what makes you proud to be an American? Because if you can't think of at least 10 reasons as to why you're proud to be an American, 10 really good reasons, that's a problem.
Well,
and the
yeah,
government needs to fix
American,
that.
Our American
Well,
spirit is not like it used to
You
be.
know,
That's
well,
for sure.
when you go and look at it and say being proud to be American, I don't know if I'm correct in saying this, but when you look at the Republican Party, they cannot even uphold that thought, you know. But now, especially at their convention, and now
Yeah.
you look at the Democrat convention, the only thing that have been upheld of American pride and everything is the automobile industry.
Yeah,
And that
with
was the
Detroit.
last thing that to stay, because we already lost the steel mill. We
Yeah.
already lost
Mhm.
the carpentry.
That's
you
true.
know, when you look at every industry here in the United States, we lost.
And
it's being
even where this show is
manufactured
based out
overseas.
of,
I remember the Ford factory near Henry Ford Boulevard
Right.
going to
It's
75
gone.
is
It's
gone,
gone.
replaced
Right.
with a Ferrari factory, I think.
what?
Yeah.
I didn't know.
But
Yeah.
Ferrari is by Ford. Ford got Ferrari now.
Oh, okay.
Okay, Ford Motor
But you
Company.
got
But
me-
even
you
still,
got-
they didn't have to because they took the whole plant down brick by brick.
Yeah,
Wow.
but
But you guys
know,
got me thinking about,
yeah.
even when this show is broadcast based out of Thomasville, North Carolina, what do you think about when you think about Thomasville? Furniture.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
High-end, serious, quality furniture. And even the furniture that used to be made only in the United States, even High Point, North Carolina, used to be furniture capital USA. You can go get serious quality furniture, all made and manufactured and assembled and produced, hand whatever, 8-way hand types, over, quality stuff
Yeah.
in the United States. And now even that production is not like it used to be, because you got a lot of imports that come over that are made to look pretty darn identical to the high-end stuff at cheaper quality and cheaper prices. And my thing is, there's nothing wrong with, import and export. Nothing wrong with that at all. But to me, again, it's that keyword balance. When we got more coming in than we have going out, we got a problem.
That
We got
happened
a
in
problem.
way before the Revolutionary War, because we would provide
We got a problem.
we would provide the textiles and the materials in order to make the furniture. We ship them over to England. They sell it back to us at a higher price.
Yeah.
Also, the lady in Australia, the billionaire, I believe Australia has a tighter closed door policy than we do as
They
far as
probably
America,
do.
and that's probably why it was easier for her to make that money. So for her to even say that we should be working for $2 a day,
Yeah, it's easy to say you sit up on $1 billion that you inherited.
yeah,
I still
it's
say
like
that.
it's like the
Easy for her to say that.
it's almost like the upper class wants us to settle for
Yeah,
what
but
they
like
they
with
feel
her,
like we
she
can
was
handle.
specific about that $2. She was
she
talking about
was.
Africa, and so that just shows you the unjustness that's over there still.
You're
And
right.
especially with
Yeah.
the miners right now in the news.
Yeah, they
Not going back into the mines because they want to triple their earnings of what they get monthly, and that's what they feel like they deserve. Because I'm quite sure, as Clinton said, arithmetic, they can count their numbers.
Oh, yeah, they can count.
and realize what they should be getting.
But at the same time, because really, if you're going to another country and you're bringing workers from that other country into your business, and you're from, say, France or whatever, really all those people have to do is not work for you, build up their own company, make their own money, and get paid better. And I know, considering where it's at, I know it's hard to do, and nobody's going to be willing to put their job on hold for, say, be it a month or two or maybe even 3 just to get that company started. But at the same time, it's like my professor always told me: if you get tired of something and you don't like it, complaining about it is one thing. Changing it yourself is another thing.
Well, you're right, and that's pretty much what I was trying to say about the call centers, the different things that we need to start doing ourselves. Because if we really have that American pride, then we would go ahead and pay the taxes, do what we got to do.
Exactly.
Because as a people, we will make sure we get what we need here and have our jobs here, and then we can deal with the political thing later.
You're right.
Well,
And
it's
make
not
that
too late to
change,
do that. Don't get me
for
wrong.
lobbying
It never
and
is.
Everything. But that's what it's going to take if the political scene that we're looking at, as we call Big Brother, waiting on them to pass the laws and give back. It's not
Well,
going to happen.
it's not even.
But my whole point I was trying to make about the job situation, hey, you have a lot more people that are willing to go out on a limb and open up a business when they have another form of income saved coming in or something. And that's why, to me, everything that we talked about keeps going back to jobs.
Also, on
Everything.
top of that,
it's also the American people to really focus and say we're going to stop buying outsourced material or imports. We're going to buy only things
but
made in
that's
America.
all we have.
But
That's
you
the
know
sad
what?
thing.
But
to
you know
have
what,
the sign
Motormouth?
up
But
saying made in
Motormouth,
America.
herein lies the problem. I don't want to say it's possible, but it's darn near impossible to buy only American products when we really don't have a lot to choose from. And I'm like, did you guys see this thing on ABC? I know we way off topic. With this lady, there's been a couple of people in real life that had tried to do an experiment where, okay, first of all, this lady, her and her husband bought a house. They made up in their mind, we're not going to put anything in this house unless it's made in the United States. They meant food, toys for their children, clothing, everything. Guess what? It was almost impossible. Like, it makes you realize how much over here really is not made in America. We're talking food. We're talking everything.
Yeah.
Food, clothing, electronics. Electronics, they couldn't even find a TV. I mean, it was like crazy. It's almost impossible to buy only made in America. And I'm sure that if we had more products that were made and manufactured still over here, that people would have no problem with purchasing only made in America. And even some of the products that are so-called made in America, guess what? They're not 100% made in America.
Yeah, even if they
That's
made
the
somewhere
problem.
else and assemble here.
That's
you know,
it.
The different things.
It's almost,
Or
I don't want to say impossible, but it's extremely
Or
hard.
it's vice versa, you know.
Exactly.
But regardless of the hardness or whatever, in order for a change to occur, it got to start
It's got to
somewhere.
start from within.
It's got to start. The government aside, it's got to start with the business owners.
It does.
Because they're the ones that are looking at it like, you know, oh, if they raise these prices, I got to pay these people this, and for every worker I get taxed, which they do. They get taxed for every single employee that they have.
And I think it has to start with the American people, because let's get real. A lot of people, I don't care whether something's made in America or not, a lot of people don't care. A lot of people will go out and they just want the cheapest product they could get at the best price, period.
Well, they're made not to care because
Okay.
of the fact that these business owners want to get everything done cheaply their way. So that's why stuff started messing up around here, because they weren't using good quality materials.
Yeah, and I'm thinking
So
one company in particular comes to mind. I'm not going to call the name, but they have taken over the world, the planet. I mean, you can go up and get anything you want
Walmart.
24/7, but all I'm trying to say is a lot. I remember
just about
when
everybody now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I'm just saying
Who's
they're on
buying
a
it
different
good?
level. And I remember when they came out, it was American flags waving everywhere. It was only made in America. You don't even see that anymore.
Well, it's too much competition, because people aren't splitting up competition. They're trying to compete for the same thing. Like, if you've noticed, McDonald's has started serving Mighty Wings again, and if
Yeah.
you look up, Checkers is serving wings, and I guarantee you, if you give them enough time, maybe Wendy's might start serving wings. I don't know.
Yeah.
No, they got chicken already.
Well, yeah, they got chicken, but they might put a stick in
Right,
there and
that's
call it a
what I'm
wing.
saying,
You
yeah.
never know. I mean,
Exactly.
serving wing
But I'm
sticks.
just trying to say,
Even that so-called chicken you eat might not even be chicken.
No,
but let's
Wendy.
not go
I want to
there.
say Wendy's is probably the one that's been using the real chicken, because McDonald's they just started an ad that said now
Oh,
serving
no.
white meat chicken McNuggets.
What were they serving before?
But, you know,
Exactly.
the way I look at it, Chick-fil-A was selling
Uh-huh.
real. Then when it came down to a sandwich, then other than Chick-fil-A, then I would give it to Wendy's.
Yeah.
And then the rest of them is questionable.
I don't know what it is.
Stay away from Burger King.
Just because it's shaped like a nugget don't really
I never
mean
seen a
it.
fish that was perfectly oval. I
But
got
look.
fish sandwiches at Burger King too. Same thing with chicken. Perfectly oval chicken.
Yeah, but we could come back and follow up on the industry, the food industry, on a whole different show again, because we've actually highlighted that before. But I want to get one little thing up before we wrap up the show. I wanted to follow up on the thing with the Romney tax record. We have 2 minutes, Motor Mouth. Okay, Master Control telling me 2 minutes. Okay, I just wanted to know, have you guys heard about the thing about Mitt Romney claiming that his tax record, his tax returns have been stolen?
Well, it really wasn't him claiming it, that his stuff been stolen. It was someone that put a ransom in, saying that they did it and gave them a flash drive.
Yeah, they said that they were gonna give him. They were gonna. Well, I don't want to say blackmail, but it's pretty much like blackmail.
They told him they gave him a time date,
I think it's
a
like
countdown before they would
September.
release it.
Yep.
And the sources that had this
It's
taxes,
$1 million ransom.
right?
On
And they
this
claim
tax
that
return.
they have not had no breaches or anything with their systems and everything. So I don't know if this is a hoax or what.
Well,
coming down.
Really, if it's true.
Price House Coopers is the accounting firm. They said that they have no evidence that the files were stolen.
Yeah.
And there's no sign of forced entry. That's kind of interesting.
You got to keep in mind, though.
Inside job.
I'm just wondering.
Hackers
And
nowadays are
That
really
kind of
good.
strange.
And it's with nobody being charged for breaking it. Is it legal?
That's kind of strange.
But you also got to look at it like this. I mean, it's out there now, and if he's got nothing to hide, then it
Thank
really.
you, Blackleaf. Say it again. That's what I was going
Because
to summarize it with. If he didn't have anything to hide, then what's the problem?
Because I mean, if it's out there now, there must be a problem with it. Whether or not he pays to get it back or what, it's out there in the news, and it makes the average person think, well,
what is he trying to hide?
Exactly.
Why would you even want, if it really occurred, why would you want to give somebody $1 million not to divulge your tax return?
Well, he didn't say he's going to give $1 million. That's what they asked him for.
I didn't say that he said it.
But the thing, I think, again, I'm looking at the ideal. The man didn't do anything.
I didn't say that he did.
No, I'm talking about he didn't even do anything. There's someone else that brought this news about or what they did. You know what? And it's just funny how they just bring it in the mix. You know what I'm saying?
This is my thing, how I'm looking at it. Okay, how long have we been talking about this man's tax return? It's getting kind of old, okay? And I don't mean, and then to be fair to Mitt Romney, he did release, let me get it straight now, he did release his 2010 tax returns.
And 11.
And a 2011 estimate.
Estimate's not the actual number.
Not the actual return, but an estimate. But he has refused to disclose his returns from earlier years. Why?
Well, it's kind of
the
like
other candidates have gone back past 10 years.
Well,
based on what I recall.
number one, if we're gonna give you a couple things. Number one, they don't got the type of money this man made. Number two, like with Bain and all this other stuff, it might show his trail of how he was handling his business affairs, and they might find a whole bunch of unethical things going on.
Exactly, because it's like Randy Johnson said, he quoted Mitt Romney saying, I like being able to fire people.
Exactly.
He did.
And then
the Bain Capital, there was a bunch of stuff that went down when Mitt Romney's company, Bain Capital.
If you like being able to fire people and you're making money off of the company while you're eating it up from the inside, then you're definitely going to want to hide your tax return because you don't want people to know what you're doing.
Let's quote Mr. Randy Johnson, because he did his speech and he did say, well, his quote was Mitt Romney lacked the moral compass. He says, I don't think Mitt Romney is a bad man. I don't fault him for the fact that some companies win and some companies lose. That's a fact of life, he said. But what I fought him for is for making money without a moral compass. And that says a lot about somebody that wants to be president of the United States.
He just seems like
regardless of your belief system and your political.
Well, he also mentioned that how when they were ready to make their move, they just came in and walked them out with secure guards and everything, and that they couldn't even take out their personal belongings.
But that's not that unusual. Let's keep it real. A lot of companies do that. But I think the problem is that these people, why they're stepping out is the fact that they were led to believe that Mitt Romney's company, Bain Capital, was going to come in with the concept of restructuring the company.
He's 3 minutes over.
And, but anyway, long story short, the guy, that's his personal belief. He said he don't think he's a bad guy, but he doesn't think he has a moral compass. And the thing about the tax return, look here, Mitt Romney, how about you just release the stuff you have nothing to hide? Release your tax return, because we really tired of talking about it. That's all I'm trying to say. It's getting kind of old.
Really, it don't make me no difference if we release them or not.
Release the return.
It don't change nothing.
It really
on my
doesn't.
opinion
It really
about
doesn't.
the man.
It don't change anything.
And to me, it just show you how much of loophole is in the government rules and regulations.
For the folks that have money, they have
because
loopholes.
if there was really a problem about this man
tax return,
they should be able to charge him with something
and be done.
And
with
they
it.
can't charge him with nothing. So I don't see nothing the man doing illegally.
Probably because they're being paid off.
Yeah.
And let's keep it real, Motormouth. It's not illegal or unethical to be wealthy. All of these people are wealthy. The Obamas are wealthy. Can you believe that a friend of mine called me and we had a conversation? She's like, well, they're not wealthy. I'm like, girl, please. The Obamas are wealthy people. There's nothing wrong with being rich. I didn't say that he had...
everybody in Washington pretty much is wealthy.
Thank you. All of these guys up there are wealthy. And my thing is this. I shouldn't say that he's a bad person because he has more money. I don't believe in thinking that way about people. I don't take anything for anything that somebody's earned. But My thing is ethics. If there's something going on with the tax return, we need to see. We already know he's wealthy.
This is the last thing I'm going to say.
We already know he's rich. What's the big deal?
Well, I figure like this. If he got something going on, internal revenue would have been down on it. Okay?
You never know.
We would think, but you never really
This is going to...
I want Black Leaf. You don't really
I'm
know
just going to say this. Third-party candidate. That's my last word. Y'all have a good day.
Well, Black Leaf, I appreciate you being here. We're going to wrap it up, and we're going to follow with a little bit more politics with our next show. Black Leaf, I've enjoyed you being here. I appreciate you coming by and spending time to talk with us about all of these crazy topics today. Mona Mouth, you got anything you want to say to wrap up this show?
I'm fine.
Then we're going to wrap it up and call it a day. Thanks for listening, guys. We appreciate you. This is Kaye Dee with Kaye Dee and Mona Mouth Radio Show with our special guest, Black Leaf. You guys have a wonderful week. Peace and grace. You're listening to Thomasville, North Carolina's best gospel station, WEOM 103.1 FM.
Sneaks of the Voice, Love Chronicles Part 1. I'm Skills, the next great American DJ, a.k.a. the Maxwell King. You know what it is.
When I look in the mirror, I tell you what I see. DJ Skills. Beautiful reflection of the broken image.
The Super Friends.